Suns fans, welcome to Suns Latest. This is Rich Rubin. I would like to thank all 551 Suns Latest subscribers. This is moving. I know it hasn't been too long, and I know that's not a billion subscribers, but that makes me, that warms my heart. So thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing. Tell your Suns fans friends. The quote of the day, since I have the ball, but we already went over all the autographs. So the quote of the day is always going to be a sports-related quote. Doesn't always have to be an NBA guy, but this is the quote of the day: Good, better, best, never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. End quote. From the great Tim Duncan, in my humble opinion, the greatest power forward of all time. I know I'm a Charles Barkley fan. I know I'm a KG fan. Tim Duncan's the best power forward of all time. And also, in my humble opinion, one of the top 5 players in NBA history. I'd put him on my top 5. Argue with me all you want. Alrighty, so let's get to it. Suns Media Day, September 23rd. Training camp starts the next day, September 24th. That's a little earlier than the normal October 1st start for most teams, as the Suns are playing the Brooklyn Nets 2 times, October 10th and October 12th, in China in the preseason as part of the NBA China Games. That's what I got here. Suns preseason starts Friday, October 3rd in Palm Desert. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes southwest of me, I think, near Palm Springs, and that is against the Lakers. So according to ESPN's Zach Cram, quote, no team has mortgaged more of its future for less in the present than Phoenix, which is an underdog to finish even in the top 10 in the West next season. But it's not as if the Suns can realistically pivot to a tanking posture because they don't control their first-round pick until 2032, end quote. That is harsh, and it's true, and it's a long way until we control our first-round pick. But so what? We have Devin Booker. We have an NBA superstar. Right now, today, who cares about one season after this? This is all we got, so this is what we're going to focus on. We have a superstar in Devin Booker who will regain his superstar All-NBA first-team form, and I have a feeling, if Coach Ott does what I think he's going to do, he's going to unleash Booker, and Booker is going to vie for the scoring title, and he doesn't have to deal with somebody like KD and Book. He doesn't have to defer. He can be Book again. We have gone over this, and I think that is a huge key to the Suns doing anything this coming season. If healthy, we have a top 15 all-around center in Mark Williams, and I say if healthy because he has had health issues. That is a legit concern. You know what else? It's a legit concern for a ton of other teams in the NBA. Not Mark Williams' health, but their health. Look at Boston. They're not going to. They might make the playoffs this year in the weakened Eastern Conference. The Pacers are nowhere without Halliburton, and they don't have Miles Turner this year. Philadelphia, they're saying Embiid is coming back. I say this is Embiid's last year in the NBA. I don't think he's going to last. Dallas and the Clippers in the West, and we're going to get to that. Does anyone think also the Warriors? Does anyone think the Warriors trio? And I know I've championed the Warriors, and I said if this trio gets going. And if they're healthy, the Warriors are going to be a bitch to deal with. But I don't believe that the three of them, the trio, that Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry are going to last. I don't think they're going to make it through the season without something that sidelines at least one or two of them for a solid month, maybe even more. And the fact that they're all in their 30s solidifies my argument. The other thing is, by the time the playoffs come around, one of them is going down, just like it happened last year. And if they don't get past the second round this year, I think it really is time to figure something out and not bring another old dude in for the Warriors. One of their big three is going to get injured. And I'm not hoping for it. I'm just saying, well, a lot of people talk about how the Suns have this issue. So do other teams. So it evens the playing field. I have said many times in the NBA, it's not the years, it's the mileage. And that trio has an ultra marathon all over. Does anyone believe the Mavericks, as loaded as they are, won't have an injury issue with Anthony Davis? Of course they will. Or with Klay Thompson. Have you noticed? I've been reading a lot about the Mavericks. They don't mention Klay Thompson. Is something going on that I don't know? I mean, yes, I know Klay Thompson was out for, 2 solid years with his Achilles, or it was either his Achilles. No, it was his Achilles. He ruptured in the finals against the Raptors. He's not the same guy. He's a great player. He's not the same guy, but they don't talk about Klay Thompson. Kyrie Irving isn't even going to be back until at least January. So there you go. You have an injury-prone big man whose nickname is Street Clothes. You have a guy that they're not talking about, and their main guy, Kyrie Irving, who's not going to be there for close to half of the season. But most people, oh, the Mavericks are loaded. The Mavericks are going to kill everybody. Kyrie gets injured every year. He got injured every year since he was young. Does anyone believe that the LA Clippers are as loaded as they are on paper, are a legit threat to make it out of the West, to make it past the second round of the playoffs? Because it's really strange that a lot of experts think they do, and I don't think they will. I mentioned it before. Harden is arguably the best regular season player who always drops off in the playoffs. He's getting better, but he's getting older. So even if he could, he's not as consistent as he used to be. He's not as much of a threat as he used to be. He's a great player. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But right now, this coming year, and he gets injured too. As much as I love Chris Paul, and I wanted him to come to the Suns in a very limited capacity, Chris Paul, every playoffs falls off. He breaks down. He played every game last year for the Spurs, but they didn't go to the playoffs. So, as great as Kawhi Leonard is, do I have to mention it? 2 words: load management. The Nuggets look really good. They got a legit backup for Jokic. Good young former Sun and Cam Johnson for injury-prone one-dimensional scorer. Michael Porter Jr. Huge improvement. But I said it before. The Suns always play the Nuggets really tough. Even last year when they took it to them more than once. Even without KD, the Suns play the Nuggets tough. I don't know what it is. Is it the air? I can't figure it out. So all I'm saying is, no, we're not going to win the West. No, we're not going to scare anybody. But we might be trouble. We might be one of those teams where it's like, oh, don't look past the Suns. They're young and they're hungry. It's not out of reach to think that the Suns might at least get a play-in spot. I know that's reaching for not a lot, but we don't know what we have. And the West is still very powerful. I know I just said all those teams right now technically are better than the Suns. On paper, they're better than the Suns. We don't know what they have. They kind of know what they have. So we're going to have to see how that works, okay? But we do have a young, revamped team with a new coach who understands his players, and he is very focused. So I'm not counting us out just yet. Another assistant coach I want to talk about. Now, everyone knows who Matine Cleaves is. You mention the name, you're like, wait a minute, I know that name. In 2000, Matine Cleaves led Michigan State, led the Spartans to the NCAA championship, was the Final Four most outstanding player. A lot of accolades coming into the league. He played 6 seasons with the Pistons, Sacramento Kings, Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Seattle Supersonics before they were OKC. His career didn't pan out the way a lot of people thought it would. There are a ton of guys who do a lot of good stuff in college. They really kill it in the Final Four, and they just aren't the fit that they should be for the NBA. He was a tweener. They couldn't really figure out if he was a small forward or shooter or a point guard. He was good. He was tough. He wasn't as quick as they thought he was going to be. He wasn't as strong as they thought he was going to be. I'm not ripping on Matine Cleaves. Anybody who makes it to the NBA and plays for over 4 seasons, that's above average, and that's cool, and nobody's taking that away from him. But yeah, he wasn't the NBA player a lot of people thought he was going to be. Miles Simon for the University of Arizona Wildcats in '97. Most outstanding player in the tournament, played for the Hawks for a minute, and it just wasn't meant to be. So it happens a lot to guys that are outstanding college players. Just doesn't translate to the pro game, doesn't matter. 14th overall pick in the 2000 NBA draft. Coach Cleaves joins the Suns as player development leadership assistant. Player development leadership assistant after previously serving as director of the leadership coaching at United Wholesale Mortgage. I don't know if United Wholesale Mortgage has a basketball team, but I do know that Coach Cleaves brings a lot of experience and a lot of good energy to the Suns, and also Michigan State guy as owner Matt Ishbia is from the same area, and I think he went to the same school. I could be wrong about that. All right. First of all, I love your comments. Keep commenting. The people who comment negative or positive, whatever you want to say about Suns latest and what we're doing here, you make this so much better because you remind me of things and you vote for the 15 and it's like, oh my God, so you keep it going. So thank you. Keep commenting. I love this very much. At Metallica, loyal Suns latest viewer, I got a Royal Retro jersey of the original Suns jersey. What is a Royal Retro jersey? I've never heard of a Royal Retro jersey. But whatever, it's of number 6 Walter Davis, one of my favorite Suns ever. It looks identical. Oh, okay. You can get any number and player. All right, cool, man. That's pretty good info. So clearly a Royal Retro jersey is a really good identical replica of any jersey you want. Instead of just Mitchell and Ness, Mitchell and Hess, Mitchell and Ness. They make like the hardwood classics. I know that, but they're really expensive. So Royal Retro jersey. All right, thank you, my man. At Gary King 8203. Are you the Gary King that used to play at the Jewish Community Center when I was a kid? Did you play pickup ball there? If you are, you gotta let me know. The Suns don't have any tradable first-round picks. Thank you for the reminder. Sometimes I forget about that. I'm sorry if I've said that they do. They don't. At John Freeman D6T, I don't want. Oh, back to Kuminga. I don't want to give up too much again for Kuminga or anyone else, especially letting Oso go. Got an Oso Iguodala fan. We need to learn our lesson from the Durant trade, which I never liked. That's fair. I get it. Yeah, if I'm flip flopping too much in the Kuminga situation, just call me out on it. I just see the good and the bad of it. I just you can't turn your nose up at a proven young strong scorer who can defend. You can wince at the possibility of somebody like that coming in and disrupting what the Suns are trying to build. At the same time, as I said earlier, we don't know what we have yet. So who knows if Kuminga would be bad or good. I would like to see us keep some of our young guys and see what we got. But good point anyway. Thank you, John. At Chuga Fantastic, I've been on social media tagging the Suns left and right to sign Russell Westbrook. The Suns need a true point guard. Why not bring in the Hall of Famer? Maybe catch lightning in a bottle a second time. You never know. Good point. I said it a few times. I like the idea of Brody being on the Suns because I love Russell Westbrook. If you don't love Russell Westbrook, then you're not an NBA fan, and that's fine too. I'm not judging if you don't like him. It's just, the guy. It's how do you not love somebody like Russell Westbrook who plays his heart out every night? But the reality is, I don't think he's what we need, and I don't think he's going to help what we're trying to build. What I think we're trying to build, I take him because it'll be a vet minimum. But he's not really the same guy, maybe 10 years ago. But he's got to go, hair on fire, Mach 10, and he's not that guy anymore. He tries to, but it doesn't work. And I saw it up close when he tried to do that with the Lakers. He got a little bit more toned down with the Clippers because he was playing with Harden and Leonard, and he didn't have to do as much as he thought he did with the Lakers. And with the Nuggets, he was really like, here's what you're going to do. And there were still issues, okay? So, and they let him go. Each team keeps letting him go. So that should tell you something. I don't know if he's the idea. I don't know if he's the thing that we need. At Curious Mind 2525, Loyal Sun's latest watcher and commenter. I am happy to see that you have come around to the idea of Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal as integral parts of the Suns rebuild. I think we do need their veteran presence. I could be wrong. Maybe we just need a bunch of young guys doing whatever the hell they want. But especially O'Neal. I think he's very important to what we're trying to do. I believe the Kuminga rumors are coming from Kuminga's agent. I love you, man. You are so cerebral. I love this stuff. In a bid to move the Warriors to do something. Yeah, I agree with that. The rumor you mentioned means Kuminga will have to sign for 18 to 20 for the first year based on the value of Nick Richards' $5 million deal, Royce O'Neal's $10 million, and Iguodala's $2 million, and a first-round pick, fill in the blank, usually $1 to $3 million. First-round pick that we don't really have, a steep drop from his initial asking price of $30 million for the first year from the Warriors. Why trade now? The asking price keeps dropping. Look, if getting Kuminga isn't a headache, fine. But yeah, like those are the guys mentioned in a possible trade for him. And now when you put it like that, and you think about losing O'Neal and Grayson Allen, who I think is going to come back and have a really good year with no KD and Beal, and he'll be allowed to pop threes all day long. Yeah, if it's not a headache, I'm here for it. But well, once again, am I flip-flopping on Kuminga? It's hard to turn down a young, proven, athletic scorer, but I think there's some truth in his camp putting stuff out there to see what his actual value is, which is their job. So we don't need him right now anyway. Things might change come October, as I don't believe he'll be a Warrior by the start of the season. At anonymous_Rex, congratulations on hitting the 500 mark. 551, thank you. I totally agree with your take on ESPN. I was kind of going, too bad ESPN has become what it is. It's good for scores. It's good for check-ins. It's good to read the crawl. The majority of it, it's like, I don't need you guys shouting at me and arguing nothing. It's really too bad. And I'm not being an old head, get off my lawn guy. If you watch it for more than 20 minutes, it's like, it's not what it used to be. I've been a Suns fan since '77. This is back to Rex. When ESPN was at its peak in the '90s, SportsCenter was must view. It was fun. It was funny. Yeah, it was. And entertaining. Now they yell over one another. They do the good cop, bad cop thing. It's obvious to me that much of the time they're just trying to elicit responses, be it positive or negative. Very good observation. Jason Sharon 3156, congratulations on the 500K. It's not 500,000, it's just 500. We just started. We'll get there. I just recently found you because I just can't watch ESPN anymore. There we go. They are too unprofessional. I so wanted to do this. I'm so sorry. There's a lot of immaturity that's being hidden right now. It's just so I can get through this. But they are too unprofessional now. Lean way hard into the Stephen A direction. I agree with that. Anyone who goes against him too much just disappeared. Wow, you know what? Haven't watched a lot of ESPN lately to know that that's how they're playing it. He's the face of that network. So yeah, you don't mess with the face. But thank you. 551 at this point, but we haven't been, as I said. Yeah, it is kind of sad what ESPN became. I was thinking about how MTV used to play really cool music videos back in the day, and now it's just bizarre television. They produce good stuff, like they produce Yellowstone and all the shows that fall under that umbrella. But and Scott Van Pelt still shows up after certain games, and he does his classy, excellent reporting with a lot of humor and a nudge and a wink. But the Stephen A. Glazing is overkill. He's fine in spurts, but he should not be the face of the network. I take that back. I don't agree with him being the face of the network. I don't run a network. That's their issue. At Solfantan. Rich, what about Mike Bratz? A gamer for sure. Mike Bratz. Damn, I saw him live and I haven't heard his name in a while. I thought he held the Suns record for steals in a game, and he did for like, I wrote it down. From 79 to 84, Mike Bratz held the Suns' single-game record for steals in a game with 8. Since been surpassed by a few, but KJ set the record in 93, and it's held since 93 with 10 against the Bullets. Yes, they were the Bullets in 93. They became the Wizards in 97 because of reasons. Now, because of some anti-violence thing, which I get at the time, but I think they could go back to Bullets. I think we're over it. Mike Bratz was a steady guard. I don't remember. He wasn't technically a shooter. He wasn't technically a point. Played tough defense, kind of a bull of a player. He was the last Chicago Bull to wear number 23 before that good kid from North Carolina went to Chicago and started wearing that number. At Broken Toastable, the Cup tournament is so stupid. Yeah, it's a money grab to attract a huge sponsor like Emirates, but I don't care for the Cup. I don't like that it's an extra game for the championship. And I hate the floors. I can't see anything. It's too much color. And once again, it feels just like another money grab. Yeah, boo to you, Emirates Cup. All right, let's move on to the 15 and wrap this baby up. Okay, so we have Devin Booker, Charles Barkley, Kevin Durant, Steve Nash, Kevin Johnson, Amari Stoudemire, Chris Paul, Sean Marion, Walter Davis. The most recent addition was Paul Westphal, and come at me all you want, but he's on that list, and he will stay on the 15. Remember, once we get to the 15, and we only got 5 more to go, then we will rank them, and then we will have a spirited argument over who needs to go and who needs to be replaced. So you guys have been great. I'm not going to mention every comment about the players that you pointed out, but it's very surprising. Grant Hill has been getting a lot of love. As of now, Jason Kidd, Dan Marley, Tom Chambers getting a ton of love. Alvin Adams getting more love. Truck Robinson, surprisingly, getting a lot of love for top 15. And there's an argument. But the guy that out of nowhere, more than any of the players that I mentioned, other than the guys that are already on the list, is a guy who did change the culture and was the first guy. All I know, Dick Van Arsdale was the original Sun, the first All-Star, along with Gail Goodrich. But the first guy to really put the Suns on the map was Connie Hawkins. Connie Hawkins is going on the list of the 15 at number 11 because Connie Hawkins, very first team All-NBA player the first year he got to the Suns. First year he got to the Suns, all of a sudden everybody's watching the Suns because they wanted to see the Hawk. What do they want to see the Hawk do? Swoop. Bob Lanier once said, talk about face guarding. Who turned out the goddamn lights? He said Connie Hawkins would just put his from here to here, almost a foot. Can you imagine the size of this hand in your face while you're just trying to, I can't see anything. Bob Lanier would always say that about Connie Hawkins. There are other guys that would say, before Connie Hawkins got into the Hall of Fame, there are guys in the Hall of Fame now that couldn't carry Connie Hawkins' jockstrap. That might have been Bob Lanier as well, the late great Bob Lanier. Connie Hawkins, and I don't think I'm going to get a lot of arguments for this, the first true superstar that the Suns ever had. And I forgot about this. Remember how the Suns in the expansion draft, when they first became a team, it was between them and the Bucks. The Bucks were the other expansion team in '68. It's between them and the Bucks to see who was going to get the number 1 overall pick, which turned out to be Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The Bucks won that pick, and we got a guy named Neil Walk who was very serviceable for a while. Our first real center besides Jimmy Fox back in the day. Later, when there were how did it work? See, it was the Seattle SuperSonics. It had something to do with the Sonics and the Suns, and I don't know the exact situation. All I know was the Sonics were coming into the league. They were going to be a team, and there was another coin flip, and it had to do with getting certain guys that were available that hadn't been available before. And the Suns won that coin flip and got Connie Hawkins. That was our prize. And it was also another thing that happened to the Suns because the league felt bad that we didn't get Kareem. So we got Connie Hawkins. And Connie Hawkins, again, first superstar we ever had. Connie Hawkins is number 11. On the 15, there's clearly some other people that we got to put on there, but we are getting close to the end of the 15. When we're done with the 15, we're going to rank them. Thank you for watching Suns Latest. Thank you for subscribing. We are over 550 subscribers. Thanks to you. Keep commenting. Keep letting me know if I missed something. Criticism is great. I don't take it personally. And anything you want to tell me about the Suns that I have missed or that I should know, please hit me up in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'm Rich Rubin. We'll talk again soon.